Hey, what's up, everybody? Good morning, good morning, and good morning. Yes, I got my cup of coffee in tow, and we're going to just talk and chit chat for just a few minutes. I said, let me get up early and talk to the people, to the people, to the people, to the people, to the people. Y'all, I'm doing my morning thing. I love eating just a half a lemon every morning. Love it. Helps with your metabolism, helps with a lot of just things. But anyway, y'all, I wanted to talk to y'all a little bit about missed opportunities, knowing how to seize the moment. Y'all, I want to keep, of course, Florida and many other surrounding cities and or states in prayer. Of course, y'all know the hurricane is barreling through, and so we pray that no life is lost, and whatever needs need to be met are met immediately without delay. I know last night it rained pretty much all night long, so we're getting bans from the hurricane here in North Carolina, along with probably Georgia, Alabama, and the other states alike. So y'all just be careful out there. But I wanted to talk to you all about missed opportunity. You know, we all at some point go through whatever we're going through. We have to be a part of something. We have to sit in, listen in. Well, here lately, I have been really in the legal law talk genre sector of YouTube, because I'm needing to know some information. I'm needing to study some certain things. You know, I love watching Judge Judy, although she's on TV, but Judge Judy is an actual judge, lawyer slash judge. I mean, she sat and practiced on the bench in real life, real time for over 40 some years. And so she is a real true judge. I mean, she was family court judge and everything. So, but now we know she has her own TV show and she does small claims court, but still she's an actual judge. And like her show, and now I watch a lot of Zoom real life, real time court hearings, whether it's child support, land tenant disputes, just a whole gamut of things. People who want to be sovereign, but yet they know they got to bring their tail to court and they can't do all that hoopla. And it's all about what? Decorum. It's, you got to be able to recognize where you are. And let me make all this make sense. There are so many times in our lives that we forget to seize the moment because we're so busy focused in on what other people are doing or what other people shouldn't be doing. We miss the opportunity to shine and sell ourselves. It's just like when I'm mentoring and I'm talking to people about, whether it be Lauren, my nieces and nephews and friends or whatever, and you go into a job interview, when you go into a job interview, that's your opportunity to sell yourself. That's your opportunity to be, when they say, hey, tell me a little bit about yourself. What that potential employer is looking at is, okay, how's their communicative skills? How are they able to explain something? Because you might have to get on the phone with a customer. You might have to get into a group setting and be able to explain what your department does. And, you got to be able to, they're looking to be able to say, okay, oh yeah, she talks very well, she explains herself very well, and she's also demonstrating her capabilities, her skill sets. And so that's what they're looking for. So when we talk about jobs, when we talk about just life, experiences, how to handle this, how to maneuver through this. Let me just say this. Social media is a wonderful, wonderful thing. It really is. And it has its place. But remember, people, keep it in its place. When you're out here in your real world and you're handling real situations and you're going to the grocery store, and again, you're in that job interview or you're before your employer or board or whatever, you're in a courtroom, you have to remember where you are. You have to, and you have to have the right decorum in those settings, because those are those people's playpen. As Judge Judy say, this is my playpen. And as I'm listening to certain, because again, I'm looking at all this stuff now for some knowledge, for knowledge purposes, for critical thinking purposes. So, we know that college education and all that may not be for everybody, but don't ever not educate yourself about the things about life. Things that's, like I was sharing with you all, look, when it comes to your banking situation, sure, there are things that are Googleable, but really, go down to your actual bank and sit with one of those loan officers or one of the, and have them break that thing down to you about debits and credits and all that banking, so that you get a better understanding. The banks now, they can tell you on average what you're spending your money on, how you're spending it. Oh, I love banking system now, because all that stuff, it'll let them know, hey, you've spent 20% more this month, and if you want to be, and they will show you. Now, again, this is how my bank do, and my bank can say, okay, you had an increase this month of 20% of sales at whatever entertainment or light bill expenses. Oh, honey, it helps you. In other words, it's an informed tool to help you be successful. If you're trying to figure out, okay, what do I need to cut out? Because you may not have all your receipts that your paper receipts where, matter of fact, you go receipt right here. Your paper receipts that you can go through. Now, I do, because, of course, I have to have all my receipts. I keep them when we have to file taxes. Y'all understand. But what I'm saying is, if you don't have your paper receipt and you can just be able to do that, the tools that are available. So, again, so when you're in certain playpens, same way, when I talked to Lauren and I talked to Dexter in the past, listen, the goal is to get home. So when you're out here on this highway and you get pulled over for whatever reason, please comply with what that police officer is asking you to do. Honey, you may think it's wrong and all of that, but your goal is to get home. Out there in that playpen of the police, in other words, yes, we all have a right to be out there on the highway. As long as you driving and all that stuff, make sure you have your license, make sure you have your registration, make sure you have your insurance card in your car or on your person, however you carry that kind of stuff, so that when you enter in those type of arenas, you're equipped. You're ready. You're well equipped to be able to deal with whatever comes your way at any given moment. So when you're out there on that highway, yeah, you got your whole focus is to be paying attention to how you're driving while scanning back and forth in other lanes to make sure ain't nobody veering off into your lane. Again, you are aware. You are aware who is laboring among you, who's among you. It's no different, again, when you're out there on that highway and you get stopped or pulled for whatever reason. That ain't the time for you to be trying to do street justice and try to do what them other folks on social media. Oh, I know my rights. You ain't supposed to ask me. Baby, you may know all of that. But if that, just like that cop might be on the ego trip, that cop may have had to deal with his life almost getting taken the night before. So he's kind of trigger and a little sensitive himself. Just like they don't know what we go through on a day-to-day basis. The husband ain't acting right. The children ain't acting right. The wife ain't acting right. They don't know all of that. All they know is that, wait a minute, I'm pulling this car over for whatever said reason. Just comply. Live to fight another day in another arena. Meaning, again, court. If you have to go to court because you feel like you were unlawfully stopped, baby, on the street while that police officer has a gun in their saddle, baby, that ain't the time. And people can argue that point, baby. It ain't the time to do it. Because again, the goal. I'm going somewhere with all this, y'all, because I want y'all to understand the goal is to get home. And if you have to fight or have to bring a lawsuit or whatever, you can do it, and your life is still intact. You ain't been detained, and now you're in their system. Again, you're in their playpen. And I tell people all the time, listen, the law is for the lawless. If you are following the law, and let's say you are following the law and get caught up in that vicious law cycle, the best thing for you to do is comply so that you can collect whatever evidence you need to collect to present your case at that time. On the street, it's not time to do that. It just really is not. And I hope y'all understand what I'm saying. So again, when you enter into those arenas, now you are subject. Listen to me, y'all. A lot of people sit around talking about, oh, they did me wrong and this and that there, and they know they should have done that. Their cops should have done. All that might ever be true. But you see, when you do stuff to break the law, and now you have to be exposed, now you got to go by their get down. You again keeping that thing in mind about being in that courtroom. Oh, baby, you have to follow the rules of their road. And again, see how everybody in that room is operating. Because now you are subject to whatever they're going to say or do, and you're going to have to learn that whole system in order for you to fight for whatever rights that you know that you have. And I truly believe in most cases, if you know the rules, it will work out in your favor. Now, a lot of people, they go into a thing thinking, wow. And again, I'm telling you, when I'm watching Judge Judy and now watching these Zoom court cases, honey, a lot of people do that little street justice and think they're street lawyers and YouTube lawyer. Baby, that mess don't work in the real court of law. And so you go in there with that preconceived notion. Logically, you thinking, but baby, them folks done went to law school. Them folks done passed the bar. They know how the law works and what you can present into evidence. It ain't like how we just sit around and do that barbershop talk or beauty shop talk or under the table with your friends and family talk. Oh no, baby, it makes sense to us logically, but baby, the law will lift your skirt and say, oh no, that's not how it works. And so when we don't have any understanding of things, then we do think things and things are unjustified. Because we don't understand the law. Now, we do understand, there are some things that happen to us and a group of people that is just totally unjustified. But that's why you have to do things the right way to get things back on track. There's always going to be an audience and a place for us to do that. But again, this is about knowing when to act. And again, taking that situation on the highway. The highway, honey, is not the place to try to have your jury, court, hearings. That ain't the place out there on the highway when that man or woman has a firearm that could potentially take your life because you're out here trying to be a lawyer and have no concept of what the law is. Now, you might know some law and know some rights and know some, but again, on the street ain't where you're supposed to argue that stuff. It looks good. It feels good to see it on social media, doesn't it? Oh, yeah, they got them told it. But, baby, that may not work for you. So, guess what? You don't need to be doing all of that. So, again, I said all this to say that about missed opportunity. It's no different in your life. when you're going in an interview, or if you're trying to get somebody to hear your case, again, it ain't time for you to go in there and be talking about what everybody else is doing, what everybody else ain't doing. No, this is your opportunity. Seize the moment. Know when it is your moment in the spotlight. Seize the moment. See, a lot of times we want to get caught up in wanting everybody to know, well, she wore a yellow dress on the days that she should have wore a green dress. And some people can be so petty about that kind of stuff. They really can. Or they mad because their best friend didn't get this or didn't get that. Let me tell you something. This is your opportunity. Again, you got to count up the cost and focus on those things that matter. You know, again, while I'm looking at honey, these people come into court, and it happens on the job, it happens in churches, it happens in communities, and y'all are talking about everything that judge, that them folks at church, them people in the community, they ain't in here to hear all that foolishness. And then they gonna probably look at you like, well, daggone. Do we even want to be bothered with him or her? Because that's all they came in here. Here's your opportunity to, again, have your moment in the spotlight. Talk about yourself, all your accolades, and all the things that you can bring to the table, all the things that you need to be talking about, so you can show them, yeah, we deserve this, or we deserve that, because we could go out here on the front line. I think about, during COVID in the pandemic, whenever those nurses were just working and doctors were working overtime around the clock. And at some point they said, look, yeah, we're health professionals, but we're also human. Do y'all realize that so you have to bring certain people into your world, but you got to know how to do it. Yeah, they talked about certain grievances, but the focus was on, y'all got to increase our pay. Y'all need to put things in place. If we've got to do this because we are who this world is going to be dependent on to get this thing under control, then you need to make concessions. Put more bunk beds in the hospital. So if we have to sleep here, we're not just sleeping in our cars. You know what I'm saying? Make it make sense. Measuring those things. Know how to approach a thing. Because I tell people all the time, as much as we like to complain about things, also bring a suggestive solution for the problem. Bring something to the table that is suggestive. A lot of time it doesn't make any sense to talk about and complain about the past and things that have happened. We're past that. Bring viable solutions to the table too. Again, don't miss the opportunity. Don't miss the opportunity, because some of y'all, baby, honey, you could talk and talk, but then when it's your opportunity to speak and really make a difference and make an impact, crickets. Can't hear nothing. But then you'll be part of that group and say, they ain't even do nothing to help us. But okay, well, what did you bring or add to the conversation? Or what did you bring to the table? Did you miss that opportunity to truly talk about something that matters, that can push us forward and propel and progress us forward? But no, you want to be the people that sit back and complain and don't bring any solutions. So again, when you have an opportunity, all of y'all hear what I'm saying? When you have an opportunity to talk about things, don't make it be about what other folk ain't doing. Step boldly through that door and say, listen, this is what we do. This is what I do. This is what I bring to the table. Have you considered maybe looking at this? Again, be suggestive. For those of you who watch my live when I talk about, even when it comes to your grown children, be suggestive about directions you give. When you go into a courtroom and they're asking you specific questions, answer those specific questions. If you go too far out on a tangent, they're going to get lost in the sauce, or they're going to cut you off and say, And if you do it too many times, they're going to say, you know what? We don't want to be bothered with him or her, because they can't stay focused on the task at hand. They can't what? Talk about the subject at hand. They talking about Sheila, Michael, and they're asking you about John. And you can't even stay the course and talk about John because you're so busy over here talking about Susie, Beverly, and Jim. So again, think about, again, we can get so emotionally caught up that we, mess it up for everyone. Isn't that what the word said? A little leaven can leaven the whole loaf, the whole lump. And you don't even realize, and that's the danger sometimes when we are before people or we're trying to speak on a case. And we don't realize, we think what we're saying is supposed to be helpful, but you ruin the whole daggone thing. Why? Because you have not seized the moment to have your moment in the spotlight to shine and talk. Because I'm going to tell you, yeah, we do as a people, we do have to deal with things that occur. And I think about Jesus when he was on the scene. He was here to bring the good news. Yes, but along the way, all these people talking about a bunch of stuff to distract, to get him off track, to get him off focus. And that's why he had to steal away sometimes from the people. And sometimes you're going to have to do that in your life. You're going to have to steal away. You're going to have to cut social media off. And you're going to have to learn how to maneuver through some things with your own skill set, with your own thought process, with your own critical thinking to help you through some things. Sometimes it's not good to have that mob or group mentality. Oh, sure. We can, encourage each other and sharpen each other. But sometimes you have to sit back and say, okay, now what I'm about to say, now here's my opportunity. I may not get this opportunity. And am I going to miss this opportunity? Am I not going to seize the moment? Because this is my time to sit up here and complain and backbite and know about what other folks are doing? Or am I going to really critically think, okay, now what's the goal? See, that's the important thing to keep in mind. What's the goal? My goal ain't to be out here on this highway arguing, trying to prove to this cop that I know the law, that I know this and I know that, and I can put you in your place. That ain't the goal when you're on that highway and he's asking you for your license and registration and your name and all that. That ain't the time to be able to recite the Constitution. When you have an opportunity to seize the moment, what is the goal? Again, the goal in that instance is to get home. And if any injustices went down or occurred, that's when you use the law, the court of law, to bear your grievances. And it's no different. There are some things that, you would like to see happen, whether it be on your job, off your job, with your children, with your husband, with your wife, with your community. There's a whole lot of things that, but going in front, it's not the time to go in front of your boss and pour your grievance out about your husband and all that. That ain't the place. No matter how great you think your boss is, and some bosses will listen to all that. Okay, all well and fine, but they really can't do anything about that. They really can't. They might be a good listening ear, but the place to do that is you might need to go to marriage counseling with the other party, meaning your spouse, i.e. whoever. It could be your children, so that you all can get to some solutions. That's the goal. But what happens is sometimes we bring grievances in the wrong arena, baby, and it's not fruitful. So again, when you have an opportunity to seize the moment, be aware of where to put those things. Where do you air those things out so that it makes a difference? Because you're trying to you're trying to reach a goal. What is the goal? The goal is, if you're trying to get a job, baby, you better walk in there like you can, that you are the golden ticket to all of their problems. It ain't time for you to go in there and go into the interview and talk about, or even in court, if that's not the question being asked. It ain't the time for you to go in there and dog out and talk about your last job and talk about all the grievances that were at your, that ain't when you're trying to gain another job or whatever. That ain't the place. Your potential new employer. Now, they might ask you about why did you leave? You have to be prepared for those type of answers. Say, you know what? I want to have greater potential and I want to have the ability to excel and be able to explore my horizon. I mean, people, again, you have to be able to know how to do that. You have to be able to know how to talk and say, you know what? I wanted to see a better opportunity. I saw the great things that you have going on at your company, and I'm really interested, and I feel like that, I can really excel. And, like I said, that do your own get down. Know how to maneuver through questions. I wanted a greater opportunity. Your company offers what I'm really, truly passionate about. I enjoy doing, again, whatever, XYZ. Again, know where you are. Know your decorum. Know what team you're going to be playing on. And again, study to show yourself approved. Y'all, let me tell you something about the Word of God. This is stuff that you take with you throughout your entire life. Not just concerning the things of your spirits and soul. You are a walking entity. You have to apply those things that will help you in every aspect of your life. Isn't God concerned about every aspect and every detail? God knows that we got to go to work every day in some form, shape, or fashion to pay our bills. He knows all of this. So guess what? On that job, you need to be studying to show yourself approved. And when you're moving from job to job, or you're moving from place to place, why haven't you studied the very thing that you are going to be entering into to show yourself approved? So again, missed opportunity. What is the goal? Again, the goal ain't for you to be in here jaw-jacking and running your mouth and tearing everybody else down so you can look great. No, sell yourself. Edify yourself on your own merit, your own skill set. That's why a lot of times, y'all, when I come on here and talk to y'all, I'm talking about the things that were effective for me, that worked for me, that helped me. Because I know in this world, you got to, like I said, you may not have a master's degree or a PhD, baby, but you better have some kind of knowledge and educate yourself so you can learn how to critically think. And so you'll know, you know what? I might have had, people that may have gotten laid off because of the pandemic. Critical, instead of being so caught up in the wars, let me tell you something. A lot of people had to go into the service sector and perhaps do Instacart because they seized the moment. Or they had to, instead of them, or, let's say it wasn't in a pandemic time, and for whatever reason, these big corporations are laying off people because they got to meet the bottom line. They're trying to save money because they still got to answer to these shareholders. So they get rid of 300 or 400 people in the business. Critically thinking and having knowledge says, you know what, let me go ahead on, because I don't want to lose my house. I don't want, and some of y'all can be prideful and they don't want their friends to see them working at a restaurant. But yet you got to do that because you got to pay your bills. and pay your mortgage. You still got, you know, your wife and children didn't just disappear overnight. They're still there when you had to get laid out. So you had critically thinking to tell you, get out there and drive an Uber. Critical thinking and knowledge about what's available in your area to gain employment. That's what critical thinking does. That's what education, and that's what thinking about things to help you along the way so that you don't lose anything. You may have to do those things. And you can't be worried about what other people are going to say, think, or feel. I've expressed to you all and told you all, for those of you, I can remember a time when I got myself in a nasty financial situation. And here I am, I dress up during the day and looking cute in my office job. But you know what I did? At 6 o'clock, I got off at 5, took me a little hour break, and I went and put on my hairnet, bunt hat, rubber steel toe boot, and I went back out there on that line and put product in boxes. And people looking at me like, oh my God, I thought you worked in the office. Yeah, I still do. Well, what you doing out here on the production floor again? Because I got to take care of a bill. I got a debt that I need to take care of. And so I don't have to drive nowhere else. I could stay right here at my current employer and get me work this other position. And people was like, oh my God, girl, I don't know if I could do that. Yeah, when you know you need to. See, I couldn't worry about what other people were going to say when they saw me on the production. I couldn't worry about all that. Because the goal was what? To take care of that nasty financial debt I had got myself in. I got myself in it. And by golly, I got myself out. See, again, I seized the moment. I didn't let the opportunity, because like I said, I was familiar with it. I did what I had to do. I did that for almost a year and got myself a little nest egg, paid off that debt. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. So we have to know what to do. We got to be willing to do it. We got to be able to make those what? Sacrifices. So that what? We don't miss the moment. Don't let it be a missed opportunity. So again, I used what was in me to do what I needed to do. It wasn't my time. It wasn't my time to go in grievance to my current boss and tell me, you need to pay me more because I'm getting all that may be well and fine, and maybe it may be true. But I said, you know what? That ain't the place for me to go to my current boss and make him increase my pay because I done got myself in old nasty debt, even though it may have been merited. But the goal was I needed right now solution right now. I had to use what was in my hand or what was in my body, my own strength. And I had to swallow my pride and say, oh, well, if the people ask, I had one or two choices. I could either encourage and say, listen, I got myself into some financial problem, and this was a quick way for me to make money. I ain't have to drive. I was already there. I took my break, and I worked from 6 to 12 midnight. I was working 12 to 14-hour days. But I did what I had to do to get myself where I needed to get to. And there's honor in that. I didn't let that be a missed opportunity. I ain't have time to try to go and find, another company to hire and do and work 2 weeks in the hole before. No, everything just stayed continuous. So again, know how to seize the moment. What is the goal? It wasn't my time to go in there complaining and carrying on. No, it was, okay, Tanya, you got to do something. You got to do something now. And critical thinking and knowledge and say, you know what, this is what I'm going to do. I went to my HR department to do. This is what I would like to do. And they say, sure. Done. I took care of my own business. I didn't have to go to this one and that one and this one to borrow this, to borrow. I took care of my own business. I did what I had to do. And again, when you seize the moment, You got to just sit and think. That's where your critical thinking come in. That's where you say, Lord, you're going to have to help me. Provide me a way of escape. And see, for some people, they don't want that to be their escape. For some people, oh, they wouldn't have done that. Because, again, they're too busy worried about what other people are going to think, feel, or say. Baby, you got to seize the moment. You can't be worried about that. Because what the goal is, I got a family. And yeah, my friends and my colleagues were used to me being in a suit and tie and going to the corporate office making my $650. But guess what? That's gone away for this season, because I done been laid off for whatever reason. So now I got to go. I got a good car. Let me go drive Uber. Let me go do some Instacarting. Let me go and see what they got down here at the Mickey D's or the Burger King. Whatever. Let me see what they got. I'm a pretty fast typer. Let me see how much I can make being a transcript, typing out verbal words and put it to transcript. Let me seize the moment. Because, honey, if you sitting around thinking that you're going to be able to get anywhere doing that barbershop talk and beauty salon talk and street justice and thinking you a lawyer and a judge on the curb with Ray and them, missed opportunity. And don't be that leaven in the bread that leaven the whole lump. Oh, my God. Don't be that. Because a lot of times while you're running your mouth, you're ruining it for others and yourself. And ultimately for yourself. You think you're doing something positive for yourself, but the whole time, while you're running down other folks, while you're wanna shed the light and shine the light on them instead of shining the light on yourself and showing others and the people that can really do something about it. See, we'll do all this talking with other folks and they can't do a daggone thing to help you. But now, behold, you're in front of an entity. You're in front of a board. You're in front of that potential employer. You have the opportunity to shine bright like a diamond. And you miss that opportunity by talking about a bunch of stuff that don't even matter. And you think you're doing something prolific because, oh yeah, I went there and I told it on her. Or him. Or them. Or they. And right then, that potential employer or that potential, whoever you're in front, that judge, that, you know what they're saying? Look, they can't even follow simple instructions. Just like some of them judges, they have to tell people, do you realize where you are? You're in a courtroom. Do you realize you're in a courtroom? You can't talk to me sideways like I'm your homegirl on the street. Or your homeboy over there in the bar in the barbershop. Know where you are. So again, I hope this has been helpful to you all, but I just wanted to just talk about this, that, yeah, we have to have the proper decorum. We can't miss opportunities trying to be a tell-it-all. If you're going to tell something about yourself. What the goal? The goal is for you to propel. The goal is for you to be successful. You ain't got time to be running down folk. Don't miss the opportunity to put yourself in a better position. Because isn't that the goal? I'm going to be on that highway driving. I'm going to see all kinds of beautiful vehicles. I can't get mad and start talking junk just because they got a Benz or whatever you deem to be that top of the line car. Baby, look, your car is getting you and taking you to the same state that Mercedes-Benz is taking those passengers in that Mercedes-Benz. See, that's how you have to look at it. Oh, yeah, you might want to achieve and get that car one day. You may want to achieve one day and Sally got a Range Rover and that's been your dream car since you was a little whippersnapper. Instead of you looking over at her and being mad because she's attained it. So you gonna try to run her down and make so you can feel superior to her. People do it all the time. Instead of saying, you know what? Maybe one day I'll be able to do that. But guess what? She in her car, I'm in my car. Guess what? My car gonna get me to the same spot she going to. So I'm thankful that the same destinations we going, we gonna wind up there at the same time. We're gonna wind up there at the same place in the same day. So my car did what it needed to do, just like her car did what it needed to do. She just had to pay a little bit more insurance. She may have just had to pay a little bit more gas in it. Because, you know, her tank, she got to put more, you know, the gas is going to burn up more because maybe her car is bigger than mine. So you have to look at the positive. You got to look at the positive. You got to look at that thing in it. You got look at again. Season the moment. So anyway, like I said, I hope this has been helpful. But again, the goal is to prosper. Even as your soul prosper, the goal is to prosper. The goal ain't to sit around and think you doing something by airing a bunch of grievances that not there. I guess my thing is, people, you have to know that there's just certain things that are going to always be. You have to really sit in the pocket and think about it. Let me tell you, one of the main scriptures that woke me up as an epiphany. When Jesus, again, would be sitting around listening to his disciples talking, and he would be out there on the mountaintop, if you will, doing the Beatitudes, and he was talking about how farming is in the kingdom of heaven. He was giving descriptive lessons and talking about this is how the kingdom of heaven is. Let me just break it down so y'all can understand how it worked. And then he was talking about when he said, you know, the poor will be with us always. And when he said that, I'm like, So yeah, we could break our neck trying to, and it's honorable whenever you can give to the poor, when you can help. You know, when people say they're hungry, feed them. Jesus understands they might not want to hear about all this religious stuff. They hungry. Give them something to eat. Isn't that what that thing about the five fish and 2 loaves of bread? Wasn't that what it was about? Jesus knew that, look, his disciples, look, these people are hungry. And Jesus said, okay, bring me them baskets. He knew. He didn't get offended. They look, they hear you talking, but they ain't really paying attention. They hungry. So it's no different. When it's time for you to seize the moment, it ain't time for you to keep on jaw-jacking about other folk. Seize the moment and make it count for you. Make it count for you. So again, that's what I want you all to have, that takeaway. On the job, off the job, inside your family. Again, you're going to have to sit in the pocket and recognize there are going to be things that are going to be with us always. There are going to be people that are going to be a certain way always. So if you're trying to fight that machine, you can help, and yes, you can try to make things better. But when Jesus said that, I thought about that for all aspects. There are always going to be people that unfortunately do crime. There's going to always, unfortunately, people who complain, who backbite, who are jealous, who are envious. There's always going to be people, or there's always going to be those type of situations. So when it's my opportunity to shine and do things to meet goals, I got to be really critically thinking about, you know what? This ain't going to be the place to air those type of grievances here in this space, in this playpen, as Judge Judy says. That ain't the place. That's going to have to be for another place and another day. Right now, I need to be able to seize the moment and talk about the things that propel us, that propels me, that gets me to the goal. What's the goal? We need more money. What's the goal? We need more finances in our household. What's the goal? Okay, I'm going to have to, family, I'm going to have to work an extra 4 hours in the evenings. So it's going to pull me away from y'all, but it's going to have to be necessary. That's the goal. Family, we're not going to be able to take a family vacation to this place, but guess what? Let's all do a picnic at the park, and we can all run around, play, jump rope, fly kites. It's a shift. Seize the moment. So again, I hope, like I said, this is helpful and that you don't miss the opportunity. Don't miss the opportunity. All right, y'all. So anyway, I love you. Y'all have an awesome day. Y'all, we got 2 more days and we'll be what? Back at the weekend. Anyway, love you. God bless. And may the peace of the Lord be with you. Bye, y'all.